For this presentation, we will be talking about nutrition labels, also known as nutrition facts or food labels. So the purpose of this presentation is to educate you so that you can make choices that are healthy for you and your family when you are buying food. Everybody eats differently, so it's okay if you're not taking all of the information that I'm giving you. What matters is that you're learning what nutrition labels are. A lot of people in America don't really know how to read nutrition labels, so it's okay if you don't know what it is or you don't know how to read it. That's the purpose of this presentation, to help you with it. So, let's talk about nutrition labels. Nutrition label is the black and white chart boxes on packaged food, and it gives you information about the food. So when you go to the grocery store and buy some food, you'll see these boxes on the back of the food. It's on almost all of the foods that you buy. So what are they? They provide us with information about the food that we are buying, and they give us important information like nutrients that are in our food. And nutrients are what makes up our food. They are the stuff that gives us energy and help us grow. Nutrition labels are on all packaged food, and they help us see which food are healthy and which food are less healthy. Like I said before, they are also called food labels or nutrition facts. Reading, knowing how to read nutrition label is a very important skill because it gives us the power to choose which food is healthy for us and our family. So here we have a ramen noodle. On the front, which is the small part, is right here, and then we flip it to the back, and then we see a rectangular black and white box, and this is our nutrition label. So on the next slide, we will break down the nutrition label into 4 parts so it's easier for us and everyone to understand. So here is a nutrition label, also named nutrition facts, and it's broken into 4 parts. So we have the green, which is the serving size information, the red, which is the calories, the blue, which is the percent daily value, and the yellow, which is our nutrients. So here's another picture of a nutrition label, and this one's a little bit bigger, and it's also broken into 4 parts: our serving size, our calories, our daily value percentage, and our nutrients right here. All right, let's begin with the first part, which is our serving size. So all nutrition label always start with the serving size, which is at the top of the nutrition label. So in the green, that's our serving size right there. And the rest of the information of nutrition label is based on the serving size. So the serving size tells us how big one serving is. It also tells us how many servings are in each packet food. They are usually measured in standard measurement, such as cups, tablespoon, teaspoon, slices, and pieces. Right, and here we have another nutrition label, and we're going to talk more about the serving size. So for this food, let's look at our serving size. So on the top part right here, it says about 13 serving per container, and that means this food can serve 13 people. That's what 13 per container is. And this doesn't mean that it's enough for 13 people, but it's supposed to be for 13 people. And you can go to the short arrow and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for 13 people. And then under per container, we have our serving size. Serving size is 1 serving, and it is meant for 1 person. And for this, it says that the serving size is 1/3 of a cup. And let's follow this green arrow. Circle in yellow, we have 1/3 of a cup. And that's how much 1/3 of a cup is. And that's how much one person is supposed to eat the food. That's how much is for 1 person. But if you eat the whole food, it's, well, not if you eat the food. So the whole food is enough for 13 people. All right, let's move on to calories, which is our next one. So under our serving size, the top, we move down to calorie. Calories are energy. To live, you need calories, but if you eat way too much calories, then you can gain weight. So let's use what we have learned from before. So in this food, let's look at the serving size for one person. So it's 2/3 of a cup. So if we eat 2/3 of a cup, then we are getting 230 calories. That's for one person. So if we want to eat more than 2/3, which is one serving, we want to eat 2 serving size, then we have to double our calories right here. So let's look down right here. So if we want to eat 2 serving size, we have to add 230 calories plus 230 calories, which will equal 460 calories. So that's if you eat serving size. And if you eat more than that, you have to add, if you want to eat 3 serving size, you have to add 230 calories again. And then you get the amount of total calories. All right, let's move down. So from our calories, we are going to move down to our yellow part. If you remember, our yellow part is our nutrients. Now, nutrients are things in food that makes up the food. Nutrients give us energy, they help us stay healthy and grow, and we have to eat enough of nutrients in a day to stay healthy. And now we are moving down to the blue part, which is our percent daily value. And percent daily value is hard to understand, so I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you guys to understand it, because it can be, it's a little bit hard for me to understand when I first learned about it, so it might be hard for you too, but some of you guys might get it. Okay, so our percent daily value. So percent daily value tell us how much nutrients we are getting in one serving of food. And remember, nutrients are the stuff that helps us stay healthy, and we have to eat enough every day. So percent daily value tells us how much nutrients we are getting from one serving of the food. So from one serving. So it tells us if a serving is too high or too low in a nutrients. Our percent daily value is based off a 100% scale. So right here is our nutrients, one of our nutrients, iron. Just going to pick off a random one. And if we eat one serving of this food, we will eat 45%. So 100 minus 45% of iron equals 55% of iron. And that's how much iron we need to eat for the rest of the day, 55%, because we already ate 45, so that's half. Okay. And how can we tell if we are eating too little or a lot of the nutrients? We have a general guide, and our general guide based off 2 numbers. So right here, general guide to percent daily value. So it says that 5%, if we're eating 5% of daily value or less, it means that there is very little nutrients of that food. And if there is 20% daily value or more, it means that there's a lot of nutrients in that food. So let's look at our food label. So in our nutrients, we're going to move to the right. Okay, so we're going to move to the right. All right, let's move to the right. And here is our percent daily value. And this is one of our nutrients. It says 5%. And let's go back up. So 5% or less mean that there is very little of that nutrient in the food. So saturated fat, there is very little of the saturated fat in this food. And let's move down to our another nutrient highlighted in purple, calcium. And it says 20%. Let's go back up. 20 daily percent or more mean that there is a lot of that nutrients in the food. So there's a lot of nutrients of calcium in our food. Okay, and the reason why we want to know if we're eating a lot or a little of nutrients in a food is there are the good nutrients and there are the bad nutrients, and we will explain that in the next slide. So we have our nutrients. there is the good one and there is the bad one. So our bad nutrients are highlighted in the red, and then our good nutrients are in the green. So if we don't have a highlighter, remember that our bad nutrients is usually on the top, and then our good nutrients is usually on the bottom. I think it's easy to remember that way. Alright, let's begin with our bad nutrients. So these are the bad stuff. We don't want to eat a lot of them because they cause us health problems like heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes. So we want to eat very little of them. And if we remember from before, our daily percentage, for this one, we want to eat about 15 daily value or less. So let's look at our bad nutrients. Okay, so remember, saturated fat is our bad nutrients, and there's 5%, so that's a very small amount. And then we have sugar. Sugar is a bad nutrients, and it looks like there is 20%. But remember, 20% or more mean there's a lot. So there's a lot of sugar in this food. Yeah. All right, let's move to our good nutrients are in the green. And these are the good stuff, and we want to eat a lot of them because they're good for our body. They help us with our digestive problem. They lower blood pressure, help us from getting sick, make our bones strong and healthy, and they give us a lot of energy. And we want to eat a lot of them. 10 or 20% daily value is pretty good. Okay, so let's look at the green slide. Let's look at our calcium. If we remember, there is 20%, and 20% means 20 daily value or more means there's a lot in the food. And then we can move down 45. Ooh, that is a lot. So 45 iron, which is really good. It's our good nutrients. There's a lot of that in there. And then we have a bag of chips and a nutrition label. And let's see if you can do this yourself, if you can find where the serving size is, where the calories is, where the nutrients is, and where the daily percentage is. And if you can find where the good nutrients is and the bad nutrients is. So on the slide before, I asked you to see if you know where the serving size is, daily value, nutrients is, where the calorie is, and where the good and bad nutrients are. Okay, let's see. Alright, so in this food label, our serving size is right here in the green, our calories in the red, our nutrients is the yellow one, and our daily percent is in the blue one. So I didn't highlight the good and bad nutrients, but as we remember before, our good nutrients, not good, our bad nutrients is usually on the top area right here, and our good nutrients is usually on the bottom. But for this one, we do have a good nutrients right here. So potassium is our good nutrients. And usually they're on the bottom, and our bad nutrient is usually on the top. So you don't have to remember the name or anything. And here we have it's blank nutrition label. You can try to find a nutrition label at home from the food that you've bought from the grocery store and try to fill it out yourself if you want to. And here we just have a few questions. What color should we eat more of, and what color should we eat less of? If you remember from our good and bad nutrients, you know which color is bad and which color is good. And on the next slide is the answer. You can check it for yourself and see if you got it right. Okay. So here is basically the answer. The one we should eat more of is the one in the green, and the one we should eat less of is the one in the red. And that's all for our presentation on nutrition label list today. And I hope that it was easy for you to understand, and I hope that I explained it well. All right, everybody. Bye.